All right, welcome. Today is November 30th, Tuesday, last day of the month, right? So congrats to everyone on completing their month of November. And I hope that you achieve your goals and that you're optimistic coming into December. Tonight we're going to be covering over how to break down a chart. I'm also going to break down QQQ while we do that, going over my trade. Strategies I use while trading options, how to gauge market sentiment and strength, and how I prepare for the following trading session the next day. So, let's see. So normally, we do a top-down approach, right? If we're looking to break down any chart, we should be, looking to mark our key kind of daily levels. I like, this level there. We can see that we've been trading within this channel. Let's see, probably this one right there. It's 392. This previous day low. Whenever I'm coming into the following trading session, the previous day levels to me are very important. And when I mark these lows, it doesn't have to be right on it, as long as I'm within a 5 cent kind of range. So just looking at a few key daily levels, I'll just stick with these three just because they're relatively, I can mark this one too, right? They're relatively simple to label. I just marked some pivots from these. And my rule of thumb, the more simple, the more obvious, the better, right? So we'll go through. Now, also, what I like to do is watch NQ. NASDAQ, if you're trading QQQ, or maybe you're trading SPY or something within the index of SPY, just be able to, keep in mind of your indexes. But we did have a nice kind of bullish rally yesterday. And then in the middle of the night, I think this is around 12 o'clock, yeah, we started to see a big pullback. Now, for myself, just through analyzing it, I'll pull up the hourly chart. On this big move up, especially after gapping up, for me, this pullback was needed. Now, this was a bit of a steep pullback, a very abrupt pullback, which, should alert or kind of bring some caution coming into the next trading day. So I also see when I'm coming into the next trading day, now that we have, our daily levels, right? I like to mark a channel coming into the next day. So now the way that I draw these channels, fairly simple. Okay, I either look at the after hour high right here or the high before close, and either the extended hours low or the low before close, whichever one kind of gives a clear range. So we could go ahead and mark this after hour high here. Okay, and then this pre-market low. Okay, this is pretty significant. So this pre-market low right there. So this is our channel. Okay, and normally what I'll do, I'll trade off of this channel. Let's break it down into the 5-minute a little bit. Okay, now this is how you should be reviewing your trades, whether or not you had a successful trade or a failed trade. Solely to look at, maybe a perspective that you didn't know the first time when trading, okay? Because all of this is very, repetitive, the formations and what we trade each day. I can come to the Qs and kind of expect a certain range or certain personality from the ticker. But we have this, right, after hour high, pre-market low. It gives us a nice range here, 396 to almost 401, so about a $5 range here, so not too bad, a little more than 10%. Yes, this will be recorded. It is recorded through Twitch. So we have this channel here, and normally what I like to do is I'll write out each morning. You guys will see on Twitch, write my plans. Obviously this hasn't happened yet, but I look to take puts on the rejection of the high of the channel, and I look to take calls on the potential bounce of the low of the channel. Either one is going to happen most days. I'll bring in a few other examples, but as we can see here, I always try to gauge the sentiment. And how can you gauge the price action sentiment? By marking pivots. So we can see very clearly here, this is a low, obviously a low of the channel. This is the next little pivot, so we should mark it. And then another pivot there, we should mark it, move on to the next, and so on and so forth, okay? So we have all of these pivots. This is gauging the strength of the trend. For me, this is a bullish trend, and it was bullish off of open. But once we come into this, from a very simple standpoint, this is just support and resistance, right? Some people can dig in and draw, a supply zone like that. But just from a very simple and basic standpoint, support and resistance is most people understand that concept. So for me to be able to flip long, unless I'm not already long here, but for me to confirm that this is a long, a buy for a breakout, what I like to see is a break and a base. Okay, now with a break and a base, for those of you who don't know, okay, this is an opportunity for longs to take away covers from shorts, right? You may have heard that concept before, but shorts have to buy in order to exit their position. So if we break very strongly and come back and then buyers step in where shorts need to cover, that confirms the trade, right? That confirms the trade. And once we confirm that trade, that's a safe entry for longs using this resistance now as support. And if the support fails, then we should stop out or cut our position, right? So, yo, what's up, Van? Hope you're doing well. Right? So, that's what I like to see. Now, what we did see here from this perspective was a very weak break, okay? So we've already noted all of our higher lows. We get a nice push up. I'm just noting the price action and how it reacts with the channel right now. We'll go into the indicators and everything, but understanding price action and what it's telling you, right? The key signs that these candles are telling me. This is how I base a lot of my trades, right? So we start to see rejection up here. For a clean break, we ideally needed to see something like this, right? A very big green bar. Okay, but what we get, right, is a green bar that pops up, and then the following bar pops up a little more, and then gets rejected, and then creates a bearish engulfing. Okay, a bearish engulfing is just a red candle that overtakes the previous green candle. So this is a kind of a wide range doji, you can call it whatever. And then the following candle is a gravestone. Two very bearish signals here on an area where most shorts are looking to take a position, right? The puts up here are very cheap, provides a good risk to reward area to base off of. If we flip the chart around, okay, this is the short perspective, right? This is their support. Why wouldn't they be selling right here? Okay, this is an area to base. If this gets blown through and they're wrong, then they're able to cut rather quickly and just have something to base their trade on, right? If you're selling in the middle or buying in the middle of this, right, you're breakout buying, but where are you placing your risk, right? Maybe the previous candle or somewhat, but most novice traders are just entering because they see big green candles. So what we see here, not a strong break, and then we come back, we bounce off VWAP. This was the chance where bulls had to push it up. Now, considering market kind of exterior things going on, like the Fed meeting with Powell, right? I should have been a little bit more aware. I didn't capitalize on this as quickly as I could have, or had that bearish sentiment, but this was the chance for bulls to push it through, disregarding the meeting today, just from any other perspective, right? Because you will see this formation. It was bullish. Higher low, higher high, higher low, higher high, a higher low bounce right here on the 20 EMA and VWAP, okay? And this is an opportunity for bulls to push it through. Now, considering that Powell was speaking and, you know, talking about inflation and everything, you know, this is what brought on this large kind of move, right? I think he was talking about inflation is no longer transitory, which is really interesting. But that's how I'm really looking at open. Now, you know, I talked about the potential to take calls on this push right there. But if we take a look, pre-market high is always a very key thing, right? I didn't pop this on here. I wanted to just keep it simple with the channel. But I noted this after my review. Now, if you're not comfortable trading this chop, okay, trading this chop with all these wicks up and down. Now, I took some calls right here. But if you're not comfortable trading this, okay, wait for a confirmation, right? A pre-market high break. You see this break? That's what I was talking about up here. We wanted a clean break, all right? And this was a clean break. So had you just disregarded this and waited for an entry for this pre-market high to break through? Now, I know some of you may be looking at this and like, oh, this was pre-market high. That's a dark pull order. So it's pretty laggard for the most part, and not really represented well for price action. But you could have disregarded this, taken entry along on this pre-market high break, okay, and you would have gotten some great scales. Maybe even you waited and scaled out on the rest. But being able to flip sentiment very quickly. Now we know if price action is above VWAP, it's bullish, and if it's below VWAP, it's bearish. Okay, what do we have for confluence here? The 20 EMA is sitting right here, right above VWAP and on pre-market high. So we know that this is a crucial area for a bounce, as it's already happened. Okay, it's already happened right there. We got a nice reversal, but you know, if this trend was going to be maintained, it should have made a higher low, or it should have bounced off of VWAP again, which was really kind of highly unlikely. But you know, two trades right there: a break of pre-market high for a long trade, and a short trade, or you take puts on the breakdown of pre-market high, okay, or VWAP, or the 20 EMA. Okay, these are three levels of confluence. And, you know, when I see that, those are three different perspectives for me. You know, three different traders or three different types of traders are going to be using this. Not all use VWAP, okay, not all use the 20 EMA, and not all are drawing and using a pre-market high, okay? Or even if you didn't use the pre-market high, right, use the previous low where it bounced. Okay, so there's four levels of a support here, and if that support fails, that's a sell signal. Now, if you know, if you're a little bit late on that breakdown or you're not watching it, you know, a big confirmation that I like to see, just like we talked about up here, is a break and base, right? A break, clean break, and a base for further continuation. Okay, now what we get here, we get a breakdown, okay? This comes back up on this wick, it bases, and then it shoves down further, okay? So we see this, a breakthrough, a breakdown, a base, and continue. So we'll flip it on the other chart, or on the short perspective chart, and we'll look at it from that way. I think right here is perfect, yep. So, right, we get a big candle for shorts, a pop up, a break, a base. This is where, you know, late shorts enter, or people who are taking their contracts a little bit later, which you're still going to get the same kind of average, maybe a little bit higher than someone who would have taken this preemptively for the break. But a break, a base, and a very strong continuation up. Okay, that's what I like to see. So let me catch up on chat. Options are going great. I'm really enjoying it. Now, just like with anything else, there is that implied risk, of course. But from my experience, you don't have to trade as much of a large position size trading options, right? I think I posted a trade, or you know, I think it was like a $2,000 gain or whatever on Twitter, right? And someone asked, you know, what kind of position size am I using? Because, you know, in small caps, you know, someone could easily make $2,000 on a very large position size, you know, 50 grand or more. But for me, you know, that was like, I think like a 15 contract trade, which, you know, may have been 2,000, 3,000, you know, and the reason why we can make such large moves on that is, you know, through the, let's see, the contract charts. I think one thing I traded today was the 396 puts, so we'll send it to 2 charts, store sells, 2. Let me go back. They're not available. After the trading session, I guess I guess because it's 8 o'clock. Well, anyway, you know, these contracts today, they went up to over $4. And from the entry, I think I had like a $2 entry, right? So that's over 100%. I think they ended up going like 140% or something. I'll post it later. But, you know, a lot of people, myself included, I was very kind of hesitant, right, moving to options, right? The order entry kind of confused me. The way options move kind of confused me. I didn't really have a clear understanding. But being able to really apply everything that I've learned in small caps the past couple of years and just get over that hump of the order execution, I really enjoy trading them, and I think that it's much more worth my time. Now, that's not to say that there isn't money to be made in small caps, because there is plenty of money to be made. But I do believe that swings, right? If you're going to trade small caps, the biggest thing are swings, and that's what you'll see from a lot of other larger participants in the market, right? A lot of them do day trade, but their biggest wins are from swings. So, do I teach options in the Patreon? Yeah, we're like 90-95% options. I mean, I'll cover, you know, small caps and pre-market in the morning, but really my main objective each day is trading large cap options now. Let's see. So we'll get back into the chart. So you guys may be wondering, right, what indicators are these? Most of you already know. If you have a purple line in your chart, it's most likely VWAP. This red indicator is the 20 EMA and the 9 EMA. Okay. Something really interesting that I found. Well, I mean, you know, most people understand this concept, but just through my own, you know, I never asked anyone how they use these. More so, you know, I was just on my phone on Webull trading and watching the price action along the way. So let me remove this. So what we'll see here, yes, you will hear people talk about indicators being laggard, this or that. Okay, for me, it's another perspective, right? I know there's an algorithm trading on this, maybe a market maker, larger participants in the market. I enjoy the 9 and the 20 EMA. Now, normally this is a small cap setup, but I've brought it over to large caps, and I found great success with the 9 and the 20. So we'll just look at it from here, okay? Normally, when I gauge sentiment in the morning, okay, we're going to talk about how I gauge market sentiment and strength, okay? Now, disregard the you know, Powell news. I know that was something that happened, but this price action is going to follow along with the EMAs and the strategy that I use to trade with them each day. Alan says, do I strictly use technicals on QQQ when trading it, or do you also look at heavier weighted stocks for further confirmation? No, I actually just look at NQ/NQ, right? NASDAQ. I have this up in a quick chart all the time, actually, just like this. It's easier. I have it just like that. I mean, this is, I think I have to, oh, whoa. I don't know what happened. Okay, there we go. Style, load style, 5 minute options EMAs. Does that not pop up? Okay, whatever. They're not pop. Normally I have my EMAs on there. They're not loading. But okay, let's get into how I use my indicators and how I gauge the sentiment. So we've already noted the higher lows from pre-market, and then we come up. We have a pullback on open. It still maintains a higher low, and we also bounce on VWAP. What I'm looking at here is that majority of the time spent after open was, I mean, you know, from this point on right here before the major breakout, was spent over VWAP, right? So majority of the time here is bullish. The trend is bullish for the most part. Anytime it pops under VWAP, you see buyers come in very aggressively and they push us up. So we can see very closely here, right here. We'll just mark this. You see where this 9, the green EMA, crosses over the 20? Okay, this 9 crosses over the 20 right there. Okay, for me, that is a, it can be a buy signal. That doesn't mean that you should buy it, but a lot of times it is a time for you to look to buy. Okay, that isn't it. Just because it's a signal doesn't mean, hey, instantly market buy or slap the ask or anything like that. There's always going to be a pullback on something, especially that is considered a runner, right? So once this breaks to the breaks above the 20 and we maintain above VWAP, this tells me bullish, right? I know that there's a lot of chop right here, but as soon as this 9 breaks above the 20 and I see that majority of the price action is spending time over VWAP and everything under VWAP gets bought up, those are multiple signs of confluence that allow me to take this long. Okay, so normally when we see the 9 break over the 20 on the price action, you're going to see on a very strong breakout or rally, you'll see price respect the 9 EMA very closely. So let's just go through and see what happens here. Okay, I want to blow this up a little bit. Okay, so this is the rally. Okay, we break through, get a new high a day, we push up. So I'm going to mark an arrow on each time that we get a bounce, okay, on the 9. So I consider that a bounce. Okay, bounce there. There's another bounce. You can add calls on these, okay, but remember, keep a note on this. The later entries dictate quicker profit taking, okay, quicker exits. So bounce there, another bounce there. Now once we start to see trouble on the 9, we want to resort to the 20, but if the 20 is starting to have trouble and then on that next bounce up or the next reversal up, we see a lot of weakness here. I think I had marked this, yeah, being a very clear level that we needed to break, a higher high that would confirm the bullish trend. Once I see this, in culmination of can't break this resistance, breaking through the 9 and the 20, and then we start to cross below, the trend does shift, rather dramatically. But if you're late, right, or if you're not even late, even if you have an entry down here and you're like, how many of you guys buy here, right, buy here on open and sell here? You have the best entries but the worst exits. Okay, how do you prevent that? Your EMAs. Okay, so maybe you have an entry here. I took calls off of this, but I knew to hold it up. 9 EMA bounce, 9 EMA bounce, 9 EMA bounce. This allowed me to have, a 50 to 80% runner on those calls this morning. Okay, now I want to flip it on the backside. Okay, what happens? Can I still use this if it goes towards the backside, if we start breaking down? Okay, so right here, we see a sell signal. Okay, 9 is crossing below the 20. Right, so maybe you start to scale in slowly in your puts. If you do get a scale in here or here, that's kind of rough because it does pop up and scare you. But if we extend this out even, right, you see that it's not broken through that resistance. Okay, we just took the same line. So right, beginning to see sell signal, and then it's a lot of chop. Right, you begin to see a buy signal with 9 crossing over. But look at this. I always this is on the 1 minute. But if you see anything like this, right, no candles closing over that, what is this telling you, right? Shorts are selling. They continue to sell. They add more. They defend. They're not letting any bids push up over that. Okay, so that's a very, if you start to see a candle close above, then sure, right? Then we'll start to see some bullish, presence and sellers begin to cover. But, okay, taking into account, the Powell meeting and everything, shorts are really defending this, right? This was really strong. You have a high, lower high, and another lower high here, right? It never breaks through. So 3 bearish kind of moves right there. We get another 9 cross down below the 20. This is the time, the moment that it really breaks down because shorts have harbored and gathered a very large position right here, and we break through VWAP. Okay, so 2 sell signals, or 3 really. Okay, large upper price rejection, lower high, 90 EMA cross down, and the VWAP. So that's 4. Now, when we break through down, you don't want to add puts, kind of hastily chasing that, right? You can. I mean, if you get an entry there, right? But if you just have an entry in general and you want to be able to ride this, because I know QQQ has a range, normally 1 to 1.5% on average of when it chooses a direction. Okay, look at the 9 EMA. Okay, 9 EMA tap right there. 9 EMA bounce. Every time I put an arrow, you can sell here. Okay, 9 EMA bounce right there. It's just getting respected there. And then remember, further down, right? We talked about that 1 to 1.5% of the range. Okay, you don't want to keep adding all the way down. Okay, let's mark it from there all the way down. What does that say? Up here, look at this box. Okay, that's a 2% range. That's huge, right? That's a huge range for QQQ. So at some point that it's going to reverse, right? And we get a bounce here. But really, all I'm looking at when trading the Qs, right? I want to avoid the chop as much as I can. All I'm looking for is to get in on stuff like this. Okay, getting in on moves like this, where I can ride, get the meat of the move, and take my money and run. Now, I will say, I took my longs up here and I got a little greedy this morning, and I ended up, not scaling out as much as I could, and really taking these calls a little red down here, right on the break of this. But as soon as we break down, I see that, hey, the low of day is an achievable breakdown. I think that off of these 3 candles right there, this very sharp push down, that the bullish sentiment is gone. I don't think that we can push through that in reverse, solely because we have all of these lower highs, and now we're creating lower lows, right? High, lower low, higher low, or lower high, lower low, lower high, and another lower low. This is a bearish trend, okay? So, so I take these calls, right, and I take a little bit of a loss, but on this push right here, right, I see that, hey, low of day, we're getting, we're going to get this low of day. And if we break that low of day, we should see a strong reaction. And that's what we get. Remember, we talked about this weak breaker right here. This pushes through, no sign of buying pressure coming through at all. So this was an easy kind of a short or put for me to take. And really, you don't have to take that many contracts, okay? The contracts, yes, they will spike up right there, but they're not going to be super expensive to where there's not enough meat left on the bone for you to make some money, right? Even if you took 5 contracts, I don't have a doubt that you would have made, $1,000 on 5 contracts on this, right? If you take it from here and just ride all the way down due to your EMAs. Now, some people may say, hey, well, this continue to push down. My safe thing that I would like to do, I either hold on to some of my contracts or exit completely down here, okay, and wait for a strong confirmation. So, kind of confirmation that I saw was this, okay? You have your left shoulder, your right shoulder, or your left and your head, excuse me. Your left shoulder, your head, and now your right shoulder. Oops, that's not down. So, high, higher high, higher low, and maintaining lower lows. So it's a very strong push down. Now, either you, where would you enter on this? Now, a kind of quicker trader or someone that would, is not so scared to nail tops and bottoms would have taken an entry here. But on a breakdown and a base on this 20 was a clean put entry. Okay, you could have taken these puts, 394.6 all the way down to 391, right? Well, this is about almost a percent range, right? 0.7%, and a very strong put to take. Let me catch up on chat just a little bit. Yeah, Vegas. I was hardcore small cap, but I have to be able to not hold on to that bias, right? Small caps are fun and they're great, right? Don't get me wrong. There's plenty of money to be made, but for my time, and the amount of effort that I'm putting in trading, right? I had to, hunt down which tickers were hot all the time in small caps, which ones were going to run. Maybe I charted something out and put all of this effort and gather position for it to just not work out, right? Due to, maybe someone didn't pump it enough, or bad news or offering, or, just no sustaining volume. Whereas, when I come every morning, uh, to the desk, I know that, hey, I'm going to pull up NASDAQ, I'm going to pull up QQQ. I know QQQ's personality, and I know what contracts, to trade, right? I trade the first 3 out of the money contracts closest to being in the money. And, it's just rinse and repeat. Yes, you will take losses. When haven't you taken losses in trading? But for the moves that we are taking, this is like trading the main runner every day, every single day. Now, I will go into a little bit of this is fine. So let's just look at it from each day, right? Each blue bar is its day. So we're just gonna, let's go back. Let's just go back. Yeah, let's go back over here. All right, so the Qs, they like to trade in a range. Okay, so this is how I know to hold on to contracts at times. Push up. Remember, watch the percent right here, right where this cursor is. See the line, 0.27%? Okay, that's the range that it's moving. So I base from the low to the top, that's 1.3%. Remember, I told you, Qs like to move on average 1 to 1.5%. Anything over that is abnormal. Anything under that is kind of a choppy inside day. I mean, this day right here is like that. So 1.3%. Okay, let's just get this move down. What is that? 0.93%. So about 1%. Okay. This day was very choppy. See the top range from that? 0.56, 0.46. These days like this, very choppy, maybe not a lot of sustaining volume, indecision in the market. The market's balanced, okay? It's not pushing either way. The following day, from the top pivot to the bottom pivot, 1.39%. That's within our range. Okay? From this to here, that's probably, yep, 1%. Okay? All the way down, 1.92%. That's a little abnormal, but still rather reasonable, and something that you can hold on to for quite a long time. These days, those over 1.5% days, really over 2% days, those are big money maker days. Right here, this range is kind of choppy, right? Only 0.61. Really choppy, not really kind of a balanced market, not leaning one side or the other. Okay, from this range to the top, 1.34, right? That's in between that 1 to 1.5% range. I do this every day, every day. Yes, I have transitioned from trading small caps, but this is very, very, very clean, right? If you guys come and join and watch on Twitch tomorrow morning, you guys will see, the process. So what's 1%? Okay, there we go. We're right again, top to bottom. 1% right there. Even if you went right there, okay, that's still 1%. If you didn't go all the way to end of day, if you just went to like lunchtime, 1%. Lock your money in, okay? That's the whole thing. If you're getting close to 1%, start to lock it in, okay? Now, that's not 1% from your entry. Remember that, okay? Because some people think, oh, I entered right here. It should go 1%, right? And then they only get 0.6%, and then they're like, what the heck, right? No, it's from the base of the pivot to the top. So look at this. I think this is 0.8%, close enough. A little bit less of a day, pretty balanced, as you guys can see. We just kind of stayed straight. Push down. Okay, 0.7. Following day, base of that pivot, 1.18%, all the way to the top, 1.25. That's within our range. We have another kind of inside day right there. This was a beautiful day. I remember trading this. This was the all-time high break over 401. Okay, 1.83%. That's pretty crazy. If you go all the way down, that's 2.37%. These are big money days. Okay, even on the curl up, 0.89%. On the curl down, 1.39%. Very crazy. So you guys see, right? Well, we've gone through multiple days now. Let's even look at today, right? Let's go look at today. So off the morning, top to bottom on that pivot, 0.84. That's pretty standard on a morning curl. Now from the base to the bottom, 2.32%. Okay. I think we took entry a little bit lower down here, but even then, right, that's still over 1.5%. That's a huge gain. You only need, to get about a 1% range to make a good amount of money trading options on the Qs. Do I share when you buy and sell options live? I mean, if you come and join the Twitch, you'll see, when I'm entering, exiting every morning, I write out, I'll type like, puts on rejection of pre-market or after our high, and then I'll put what contracts, right? So if this was 400, around 4 or right under 401, I'll probably be looking at, something that's reasonable, a breakdown of this VWAP, right? Up here, which would be like 399. So I'll probably look at some out of the money, 1 to 3 out of the money contracts close to being in the money. So like 398 or like 397, right? So I'll do this every morning, and then we'll talk about calls. If off open, we bounce off the low. I'll be on Twitch tomorrow at 9. Also, tomorrow is the 1st, so the Patreon is opening up more spots. I do these live sessions 3 to 5 times a week, every Sunday night, and throughout the week, 3 to 4 days. So, and on Sundays we go through inside bar plays and whatever else, and we'll include watch lists. But really, I've been hammering on QQQ and walking most people going through it. So, just like anything else, right? There are trial and error. So if we do, a lot of people, myself included, right, will get caught up in some chop. But the main thing is understanding the sentiment, okay? Knowing that Powell was speaking and seeing, no candles closing over this and, breaking below VWAP and our EMAs. This was a very strong point to flip sentiment, right? People who come over and trading options from small caps, 1, they don't short. 2, they're perma bulls, right? So that kind of goes hand in hand. If you're a perma long, trading QQQ is fine because it is built to go up, right? But you do run into the problem that you have to be able to flip sentiment, okay? Some people aren't comfortable trading short or trading puts, but it's a very simple concept. It's the same thing, right? People who are just straight shorts, they do the same concepts that longs trade, right? You can literally just go on negative QQQ and chart the same exact way, okay? Like we talked about. I'll go through this chart right here. This is the inverse chart of the same day. Support break, pre-market low break, huge move up, 3-bar play, rip up, continuation. Then you get a head and shoulders, and then it kind of fades down. Let me catch up. Yeah, take it easy, man. Vegas. If it busts through pre-market high, where are you looking for your next puts? Now, remember, we talked about a break in base. So this is on the 15-minute. I normally always looking at the 5. The 5 and the 1. Normally, like we said, right, a break and a base. And if not, right, if it breaks through this pre-market high, look for a flush through the next level, a strong push down, right? Because you did see buyers step in here, but, the target for shorts was to break this low of day, right? That's like breaking a high of day. Same kind of concept. I'm trading closest expiry, right? Today I traded December 1st. Tomorrow I'll trade the same, 0 days to expire most of the time. Now, which, it doesn't matter. You can trade any contract, right? You can trade, next week's 2 weeks out. They're still going to get the same. I mean, like if, let's go through here. I'll show you guys. Trade, go to, let's go to next week out. Okay. Someone probably traded these 396s today. Okay. This is where it's fun. Okay, well, I'm glad I can see next week's expiry because it's kind of the same, right? A little bit choppier of the move because, you know, these are next week out. But, you know, we talked about, let me clear this. This is crazy. We talked about this VWAP breakdown, right? So that's at 1035. You guys see that? 1035. So let's go to 1035 on the chart. 1035. Okay, right there. So you take a entry on this. You know, this is a further expiration out, so a little bit safe, right? This is a $2 contract, so it costs you 200 bucks. You know, how many of you guys are trading small caps, trading 500, 2,000, $3,000 position sizes? Okay, you can come in and buy one contract. Okay, buy one contract and make your daily goal. Okay, so let's say you come in, you buy one contract. This costs you 200 bucks. Okay, you learn and you ride that trend that I just talked about on the 9 EMA. Okay, you could have taken these $2 contracts all the way up here to $6, right? So that means whoever comes in and buys these would have to pay $600. So you just made $400 profit in about 30 minutes on one contract that cost you 200 bucks, okay? If we look at the percent right there, look at the little black box, okay? From this pivot to this pivot, 186%, okay? Yes, small caps are fun, this or that, right? Once I started to see the potential and actually make these gains, that was it, okay? I was done making the watch list for small caps. I was done, you know, with the pump. I was done, okay? Because I can come to the market. I trust my technical analysis. Really, you know, everyone has to work on their emotions, right? I trust my technical analysis enough to be able to be confident and trade this, right? $200 would have made you $400. Okay, and you would have walked away with your original investment, right? No loss. You know, and that's if you got the absolute top. Maybe you don't get the absolute top. Maybe you get down here, you know, that's still 275 bucks. Okay. I don't know where else you're making those kind of gains in small caps. You know, if someone wants to argue, it's futile because you're not making those kind of gains. You use mostly 5 minutes to mark your resistance. Most of the time, yeah, 5 minute. I like the hourly. It cleans it up a bit as well. If you're not live, do you make calls, put trades, and if so, how do you let the group know? Now I'm normally always on voice, so majority of the calls are on voice. I will type them out in the trading floor, right? You know, this morning we were going through a lot of you know, contracts and then a lot of the small caps in the morning, but majority of the calls so far, you know, we're looking and taking them on voice, and I'm writing them out on the screen. And I normally have the contract I'm trading right here on this chart. How do I use 1 minute on QQQ? So I talked to you guys about that, right? Gauging the health of the trend. The 9 and the 20 are my favorite, right? So, you know, every 9 EMA bounce, you could have taken an entry, right? Right there. This was like a 3-bar, a little respect, you know, very close to the 9 EMA. Now this, you know, people like, oh, well, you know, Maple just said take the entry on the 9 EMA, right? This is a huge green stick, okay? You see all the rest of the candles? Pretty bearish, inverted upper wick right there. You know, inverted upper wick. This is a different candle, okay? You have to gauge your price action. Okay, well, let's look at another day, even, on the 1 minute. Think Friday. Yep, oh my God, dude. Beautiful. I do this all the time. You know, everyone in the group, you know, we all have gone through and, you know, learned and focused on our EMAs, and this is how we're holding on to trades. Okay, 1 minute EMA, 1 minute 9 and 20 EMAs. Okay, you know, Ripster uses clouds. It's the same thing. This is where he created his clouds from, just using, I think he went from like the 5 to the 12 or something like that, right? But the 9 and the 20 are incorporated in between. Each time it taps the 9, you should see a bounce. Now, if it breaks the 9, you should see a reversal around the 20, okay? So that's what we saw there. But 9 EMA tap, 9 EMA tap, 9 EMA tap, 9 EMA tap. It breaks through, but buyers really rejected off the 20. 9 EMA tap. Look at every time, if you look even down here, 9 EMA tap, right? Our EMAs are crossed over, 9 is over the 20, and we're over VWAP. That's a bullish signal, okay? So every time it breaks through or touches within this channel, really a very strong trend is going to hold the 9, but you know, it's still very strong if it holds the 20. anytime on any of these arrows you would have taken a contract, you would have made a very large amount of money. Okay, because I mean, look at this range. We're just trading with the trend all the way up. I don't swing, not yet. No, I'm not really I'm focusing a lot on the day trades, right? Making, a range from, 1 to, I think, just this last month, I think the highest day I made was like 7 grand in a day, right? Just trading options. And so, swings, we'll get into it eventually, but day trades, going full cash at night, waking up in the morning, not stressing out about anything of the market indexes, really just trading if it's going to go up or if it's going to go down, gives me a lot of peace of mind. So your main entry is the 9 and you risk off the break of the 20. Now, not always, because, we always have to take care of, our positions through price action, right? I'm not solely an indicator-based trader, okay? Because maybe I have an entry down here. Am I going to cut it right on the break of this 20 EMA? Especially if we haven't broken this higher low, this previous higher low, even if I, mark this. Remember the higher lows and higher highs, right? That's all we've been getting. Right? It's stair step pattern, okay? Up and down, up and down, up and down, and stair step. Okay, we're just inching on up here. So if this breaks through the 20 EMA, normally I go in the 5 minute and watch my, I watch my EMA on the 5. So where's that line at? Right, and it bounces right there. Okay, it bounces on the 20, but let's go back to the 1. Because I know a lot of you guys like to trade on the 1. So we go here on the 1, right? This is our previous low right here, not this curl up, right? This is pretty extended, right? This base right there, for it to be a bearish trend, we need to break below that, okay? And we don't, we reverse up. So had you had an entry down here and you cut your contracts right there and it moves up from 399.58 to, almost another $1, that's a lot of money on your contract, okay? That's a lot of delta that you'll be missing out on if you just cut it on the break of the 20. And even if you go through here, some people are like, oh, but it breaks through right there. Technically it does, but what's the reaction on the break? Okay, buyers come in very aggressively here with a very strong basing bar, another one, and 3 more. Okay, so it really has to, remember, you guys have to understand the strength of a break. If this were to break down like this, if this were to break down like this, that would be a different story, right? What happens is it breaks down, buyers come in as noted by that wick, and we continue. And then that creates a new low. So we go through. What happens here again? Okay. Pops below. Oh my gosh, I'm scared, right? This is a buying opportunity, right? You buy those shares that people stop out on because, what is this range? 0.35% for a scalp, that's really strong, right? That's probably a 30 or 40% move. I will sign up with your Patreon when I get back on 12/20. If I can make $200 a day, I'm good. Yeah. We'll go through profits and percents, right? This guy made 14, or earlier he made 865 from Smokage, 378 the other day. Sooner was killing this QQQ trade. Myself, some days here. This was, look at this strength of only 20 contracts. Okay, 20 contracts. And this wasn't even insane. Normally what I see are, 50 to 150% wins, right? And this was only 20 contracts. Just riding the trend, right? 240 on J Hughes put, another 140. Look at these, right? Normally getting 148%. This is T, had her best trading day, or I don't know if it's a guy or girl, but had their best trading day last week, right? 6 days ago, 4 grand, not bad. Ace Dell hit 3 the other day. Sooner hit another 100%er. Here's some more money thrown in. Ace Dell hit another 2 grand. D Jeans hit another 400. I hit 11% on the account the other day. These are a lot of these scalps that we've taken. Okay, LGVN. So, and of course there are the losses, but we recuperate them, to the best of our ability, right? But that's pretty, making $200 a day on options, right? Let's go through. Right? I think that was really the main thing that helped me out a lot was actually seeing a contract move, right? So go through, let's go to, yeah, this is next week's, right? So let's look at if someone traded, these were in the money, or let's say a cheaper contract, right? These 393s. Whoops, 393s. Yep. Okay. So right here, remember, let's say you get a little bit later. Okay, you take this entry right there on the low of day break. That's like a high of day break. Like, oh my God, it's a new high of day, right? It's gonna rip, right? Oh my God, it's a new low of day. It's gonna flush. Okay. So what is that? What time is this? 10:45. Okay. So 10:45 right there. So another $200 contract. Move it on up, 144%. It's at 457. Maybe you don't get the high right there. Maybe you get 388. That's 188 bucks. Okay, 100% mover. You can see there in the box where it says 107 or 106% now. Right? That's on one contract. Remember I told you the power of 20 contracts, right? 20 contracts can be a lot. Really, a lot of you guys only really need to trade 50 or not, not 50. You guys really only need to trade 5 to 10 contracts, right? Imagine if you take 5 contracts and you're profiting $186 a contract, on a very, look at this move, okay? This is not, anything that's like made up. This shit happened today, okay? We traded this today. Maybe not this contract because the the Wednesday contracts are not showing up for whatever reason, but these are next week's, okay? This is at 10:57. So from 10:45 to 10:57, making almost $200 a contract. Where's 10:57? Right here. This trade literally lasted 5, 10, 15 minutes. Okay? Remember we said 10:45, and maybe you scale it all right there, right? 10:55. So 10:45, 10:55. Let me catch up on the chat. What percent of my port do I use a day? Not very much. When I was trading small caps, I had to maybe use 10% on each trade, maybe more to upsize. Really, I'm trading like 2.5%, 5% of my account, and making insane gains off the contracts. Right, being able to make 100, 150% on even 1 or 2 contracts for some of you guys would be a good chunk of change. Right, I think the average person in the US makes $200 a day or something like that. Maybe it's a little bit more now that inflation is no longer transitory, but let's see. I go over options every day. We do live sessions like this every day. Or not every day, but 3 to 5 times a week. Every night on Sunday, or every week on Sunday. And, I do have some things throughout the week, right? Going out to dinner or just, whatever, working on my house. But I normally have 3 to 4 of them throughout the weekday, around 8 to 9 o'clock around this time. Yeah, Loose Creek said he made $700 on 5 contracts a day. So. Let's see. But that's my approach. Each coming each day, trading trading large cap options, right? You guys can trade. There's a lot of members in the room, who will come out and trade, inside bar plays or some breakout plays or this or that, and that's completely fine. Everyone is able to be versatile and make money in any way, right? I come in on stream and I handle QQQ, right? And we talked about NQ, which is, NASDAQ futures. This is, QQQ follows NQ very closely. If I put the chart side by side, whoops, from today, and then, what time is this? 9, right there. So yeah, look, see, it follows this very closely. I know I have a lot of daily levels on this, but, right, you get a pop up, pull back, pop up, pull back, pop up. Huge knife, pull back, knife down again. This is going to mirror this very closely, and sometimes you'll get the tick on this like maybe a few seconds more. So if I start to see it breaking over high of day on NQ, I'll slap some contracts or something on anticipation of a breakout, right? So what's the difference between trading QQQ and SPY? Your preference, right? Also, what QQQ is made up of. This isn't all of QQQ, but these are its holdings, right? Apple, Tesla, PayPal, Amazon, Microsoft, AMD, Nvidia, Google, Adobe, Netflix, Moderna, Facebook, right? So those are all trading within QQQ. SPY a little bit differently weighted, but really the spread on the contracts is very tight. When I'm taking entries, sometimes I market buy. Most of the time I'm slapping the ask because the spread on these contracts are, very tight, right? Look at this spread. Okay, like from today, right? So $1.30, $1.23, okay, $7, $10, right? $6, $1, and right here. This is a bit different because it's later on in the day, but the put's a little bit higher because towards the end of the day, right, we had a strong push down, so the puts stopped updating right here around 4. Yeah, exactly. So let me see here. What other notes do I have? One thing that I will say, right, coming into each morning, right, that's why on Twitch I like to select the contracts in front of everyone, giving them somewhat of an edge, and being able to, have those ready, because when price comes up to your area where you have your contracts ready, you need to be able to execute, right? If you're just like, oh, if it pops into this pre-market high, 400, then I'll start looking at put contracts, right? No, you need to be able to have your contracts ready, send it over on the chart, and watching these very closely with your active trader up, something like this, and being able to execute accordingly. I don't like trading bigger names like Amazon, Shop, Tesla. I mean, I really prefer QQQ. Now, I haven't had much experience trading, Tesla or Amazon or anything. I know the spreads are a lot larger, and it is a nice ticker to trade, but I'm finding a ton of success and a lot of I mean, the thing with Tesla is that it likes to do its own thing most of the time. Now, not all the time, but most of the time, right? I know that I can watch NASDAQ and have an understanding of some of the other holdings in QQQ, and gauge trades off of that. Right, when Tesla sometimes, look at Apple. I was talking with Bull Shark today about this, but Apple just kind of, having a straight bullish day, right? And then this is a holding in QQQ, right? QQQ had a very sharp move down today. Yeah. Oh, yep. I think I had it today. Where is it at? Right here. Yep. I had these contracts listed right there, and I was able to flip through these contracts like so. And all you do, you go to trade. You click this, you go to add to watch list, and you go to right here, my QQQ contracts, and it ports it in right there. But yeah, that's pretty much what I look for. Now, if you guys have any questions, I will take them, right? And I hope that this helps some of you guys out there that are trying to venture on into the options world, or you just don't have any understanding, right? Because I didn't. I traded small caps for 2 years, and I didn't really want to dig into options for whatever reason, but I should have, because all the TA that you learn from small caps was derived from large caps, and that's why it respects it and pertains to it so much more than a small cap, right? Because small caps, they are fun, but they are very choppy. Do I use Apple, Amazon, Microsoft at all when trading QQQ? No. I just look at NQ, a little quick chart, and then QQQ, and then my own analysis of the price action. Yeah, Buddha, if you have any questions, bro, please let me know. Because, I mean, obviously we have all of the pre-record, yeah, all of these sessions as well, in the Patreon, right? These are all pre-recorded. I think I have, over 40, maybe almost 50 sessions, pre-recorded. So a lot of, concepts and lessons available off the bat. But, each week we go through and have a quote. This is my second one. I had one yesterday. Is there a time you try to sell contracts before it's a day of expiry? I like to see, if you'll start to see theta affecting them on 0 DTEs near lunchtime. Normally, just in general, but not always, right? Because this was after lunch, and we saw a huge move down, right? Well, no, this is before lunch, but after lunch, right? It was kind of choppy. We got some nice moves, but otherwise, it was, look at all these upper and lower wicks, right? This wasn't, remember, so you see how clear these are? This is the same chart, 5-minute candles, okay? And then you get all these, barbed wire braces kind of looking candles, right? All of these dojis and shit, so. How often do I think about theta or delta risk? Now theta, I do keep it into account right when trading options, especially closer towards the end of the day, because you will see that that theta decay and just your options begin to become worthless, right? That doesn't always happen, but on days like I think I don't know if it was last week or 2 weeks ago, but on OPEX on that Friday, we expected to see some nice runners towards the end of the day, but we did have some nice movement, but because of that theta decay, it wasn't aligning with the underlying price action chart. Is flow helping or hurting my trades? Now, I will watch flow, but I tend not to make trades based off the flow, because they do come in quite often, but they are beneficial, right? I think that it is very contextual, and that you should only take it with a with a grain of salt, right? You shouldn't weigh it so much as to, I need to take this trade because of this. Now, if it's a swing or you get some unusual whales alert or something, like I think last week people were loading into Moderna, and then we got the Omicron news, right? That's something different compared to like a flow throughout the day. I normally trade the closest day to expire. Tomorrow I'll be trading zero DTEs, but like I said, you don't have to trade 0 DTEs. You can always trade the next option chain out, and these will be a little bit more expensive, but a little bit less volatile, as long as you can align your option contract with the price action on the chart. Do I use a stop loss? No, I only use a mental stop loss. Yep, mental stop losses only. Okay. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it for me. I hope that you guys, that this helps you guys. Like I said, tomorrow, the Patreon will be having more spots open. And, if you guys don't plan on joining, that's okay too. I'll try to have maybe 1 or 2 of these sessions a month. And I hope that this helped someone out there, right? If you'd like to get more in-depth kind of education, or walkthroughs and live sessions and reviews, then check out that link I just put in chat, right? Because we have these, like I said, 3 to 5 times a week, a lot of chart reviews, questions answered, and just kind of general support. So, but thank you everyone for tuning in. I hope you guys have a good rest of your evening, and I'll catch you guys tomorrow on stream at 9 a.m. So let's have a good start for December, and you guys have a good night.